Well, what is happening, DC fans? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dial, and welcome to another edition of my podcast. And yes, finally, we are getting back into the DC universe. Today, we will be talking about the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad that came out in August. Um, this will be a full spoiler discussion because it's been out for a while. It was on HBO Max, so if you guys haven't seen the Suicide Squad, I don't know what to tell you. I guess wait till it comes back on HBO Max, or what? Go get the Blu-ray or whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be a full spoiler discussion. So you have been warned. Or if you don't care about spoilers, go ahead and watch on. But joining with me today, I have Evan.
Yeah, good to be back. Glad to be here.
Cool. And who's kind of here. She's in the background. I don't know if she's going to contribute that much. She said she doesn't really want to say much, but just let you know if she does want to talk. This is the person in the background. Our lavender-haired warrior Cree's here. Just letting you know.
My wife.
I was forced to be here.
You were not forced to be here. I was like, if you want to come on, sure. If not,
did I say you forced me?
Did I say Evan. Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know. You can't blame me. I'm letting the viewers know. But yeah, let's get into this. So, Suicide Squad. So the interesting thing about Suicide Squad, it's been through a weird journey the past few years. We all remember the original Suicide Squad that came out in 2016, directed by David Ayer, and that was a film. I was not.
That was a interesting mess.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. An interesting mess. I am not the biggest fan of it. I think there's some really cool things in it. I do like the characters. I think the world's kind of neat. And I actually am one of the few Jared Leto Joker defenders. Yes, I like Jared Leto's Joker. You could go ahead and fight.
So do I. Yeah, I'm defending him with.
Yeah, Evan and I are Jared Leto Joker defenders. We feel like he did a interesting performance, but there wasn't enough of him in it because Warner Brothers decided to chop this movie up and re-edit it and turned it into like this music video of a film. Got the trailer company to just put a whole bunch of pop songs in there and like make it more lighthearted and make the relationship between Joker and Harley more of a lovey-dovey thing instead of the abusive relationship that they're supposed to have. So it pretty much was botched up, very similar to how Justice League was in 2017. So as far as that, I still want to see, the Ayer cut of that version someday. I don't know if we're ever going to get it, but since Snyder was able to get his cut of the film out, I'm hoping the same thing could happen to Ayer, because I'm tired of Warner Brothers messing with these directors' films, man. Because like 9 times out of 10, or like pretty much all the time, whenever their director's cut comes out, it's better. So it's like if they just haven't middled with the film in the first place, we would have been in a much better situation. So
I don't understand Warner Brothers because they mess with these guys' films, but then they let Patty Jenkins do whatever she wants for Wonder Woman 1984, and that turned out horrendous.
Yeah, not the success they wanted it to be. And then with James Wan do Aquaman, and for the most part he had his creative control, and that ended up being a really enjoyable film. And then David F. Sandberg with Shazam, letting him do what he wants, and that turned out to be a good movie. So it's like I just don't understand. And obviously the Snyder Cut came out, and a lot of people like it a lot more than Justice League in 2017. So need to stop this. Like seriously. Sorry, what are you gonna say?
I don't think Suicide Squad got as badly fucked up as Justice League did with the theatrical version.
No.
But you can definitely still tell that it's not what David Ayer originally wanted.
Right.
And I'm not even really the biggest David Ayer fan.
Me neither.
So I think I would be interested in seeing the new cut, but I'm not dying for it like I was with Zack Snyder's Justice League. That I wanted really badly. But Fury I thought was just okay. I thought Bright, the Netflix movie, was fucking trash. So I don't really care about David Ayer that much, but
I kind of like Bright a little bit more than you do, but yeah, it's not that great. Mostly I would want to see the Ayer cut because I want to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, and I want to see the abusive relationship with Harley. That's really the main reason. And then I want to see what happened with the ending, because there's a whole bunch of theories that the ending was a lot different with Enchantress and whatever. So that's probably the only reason I would want to see it. But anyway, let's talk about this Suicide Squad. So James Gunn went through a bunch of drama the past couple years with Marvel, because apparently there's been some like tweets that he made years ago that Disney saw, and it was very controversial, and he almost got canceled for it. And Marvel was like, get the hell out of here. we're not supporting directors that have these really bad tweets or whatever. So he got kicked out of Marvel for a while. And then that's when Warner Brothers was like, oh, James Gunn, he's a free agent right now. So you know what? Let's get him to do a DC project. And James Gunn was like, yeah, let's do it. So really enough, Warner Brothers gave him two choices for a DC project. It was Suicide Squad and Superman. I wonder why they were like, hey, you want to do a Superman movie? There's the options open. No. I don't want him to touch Superman. I know he produced Brightburn, which was like a dark Superman-esque story, but like no, like I don't feel like his writing and structure would fit for Superman. So I'm glad he chose Suicide Squad. So I think that fits a lot more with his direction, stuff like that. Those of you who don't know, I am a James Gunn fan, but only for like a handful of things. It's like the only things I really, really enjoyed from him was the first two Guardians films. And then he wrote the live action Scooby-Doo movies, which I'm not the biggest fan of either. And then,
oh gosh.
Yeah. And I saw his other movie called Super, and I thought it was horrible. That was awful. So James Gunn, I feel like he found his stride when he went to Marvel. But I was really interested to see what he would do with Suicide Squad, because one of my complaints that I had with the original movie was that, it wasn't dark enough. The villains weren't able to actually be villains. It wasn't violent. And I feel like that type of movie fits with Suicide Squad, but Warner Brothers didn't let the first movie be what it was supposed to be. So this time they let James Gunn do whatever the fuck he wanted with this movie. Like it was going to be hard R, again, violence, swearing, sex, wherever he wanted. He even said, they even told James that he can kill whoever he wanted in the movie. So anyone was fair game, even Harley Quinn. So that's interesting. The marketing for this movie looked great. I liked all the trailers. It looked like much more energetic than the first movie, and a lot more colorful characters. Even taking a whole bunch of C-level, D-level characters that I never thought would be in a live-action DC film, he just put it in here, and that made me really happy. And he also brought back Viola Davis and Jai Courtney and obviously Margot Robbie and. Who's the actor who played Rick Flag?
Joel Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman, yeah, brought them back. So it wasn't going to be a complete a reboot. It actually feels like a sequel to the first movie. But yeah, I'm glad they brought them back from the first movie. But then they got Idris Elba, they got John Cena, they got David Dastmalchian, Michael Rooker, Faluya Borg, Peter Capaldi. Like, this was a star-studded cast. Like, I'm surprised he got so many people in this movie. But yeah, man, it's like it was pretty cool. And Sean Gunn, obviously, because it's James Gunn, you got to have Sean Gunn in the movie. So was really looking forward to it. It looked really good. Having Bloodsport, King Shark, Peacemaker, Ratcatcher 2, Javelin, Mongal, Captain Boomerang, Blackguard, Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man? They got Polka Dot Man in a live action DC film. Never thought I would see that, but yeah, it was freaking awesome, man. So after watching this, I gotta say, I really enjoyed this movie. I really, really liked it. This is the Suicide Squad I thought we were gonna get the first time. Yeah, James Gunn directed the hell out of this movie. I thought all the characters were really, really good. Even the D-level characters that I thought weren't gonna be much, everyone had their moment to shine. Some moments were bigger than others, but I thought all of them were really good. The action is great. It was hard R, bloody goodness. It was great. But yeah, it was really good, man. I expected it to be good, but I didn't expect how good it would be. I really enjoyed this film. What did you think about the Suicide Squad, Evan?
I feel the same way. I was shocked when the first Suicide Squad was only going to be a PG-13. I'm like, all right, I guess DC doesn't have the balls to just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't work out. So then they finally went for it, and it paid off. This was the Suicide Squad we should have gotten from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I love that it's hard R, that James Gunn just went for it all out, just doing whatever he wanted to do, and really made it feel special and unique. It didn't feel like some sort of studio mandated, like movie that has to appeal to everybody, that it's just one of those movies that everyone's gonna enjoy and want to see. I mean, it would be nice if everyone enjoyed it, but I know it's not going to hit everyone's taste.
Mm-hmm.
So it just the movie felt special because James Gunn got to do what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where to start with this? I'll start with the characters. As we said, there's a whole bunch of C-level and D-level DC characters in this movie, and I was expecting to be attached to at least a handful of them, but James Gunn, gave everyone like really memorable moments in this movie, and it's like there is a handful of them that I think steal the show. Indeed. I guess we could go one by one. It's a lot of them, but I'll go one by one.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with. Well, let's start with Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Once again, she was great. I can't picture anyone else in that role. Like she's pretty much exactly how she was in the comics. She's straight up savage. She has a commanding presence. She doesn't take shit from anyone. Whenever she's in the room, shit's about to go down. So it's like I'm really glad that James Gunn brought her back, because they could have easily just made it another reboot and just forget about the last movie. Whereas I think there is some good aspects of the original, and Viola Davis was one of them. So really glad they brought her back. And then
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And then another surprise for me with Joel Kinnaman as Colonel Rick Flag. I didn't really care for him that much in the original movie, but in this one, I actually liked him quite a bit. Like he had more personality. Like he felt more warmth with his character. And yeah, he was just able to be, a little bit more free with his performance. Like the first movie, I felt like he was a really, really stiff and kind of wooden in places. But in this one, he's able to be, just be more loose with his performance, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, what did you think about Rick Flag?
Yeah, I agree. I just thought he was okay. He was just fine in the first one. And in this one, he really was a standout. He was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just his banter with the characters was was really nice. I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, to him, I felt like worried for him because he
Yeah.
wasn't a criminal like who was locked up like everyone else. He was just out there because that's his fucking job. And that was
Mm-hmm.
part of the military. So it's like, holy shit, do not let him get screwed over with the rest of these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like,
And when we get to it, yeah, when we talk about it at the beginning of the movie, I was really scared. And he was with that first squad. I was
mm-hmm.
really scared.
Oh,
Um, Also, I wanted to say about Viola Davis, I thought she was phenomenal in the first movie,
mm-hmm.
and she's even better here. So I thought with Amanda Waller, she was more watered down in the first movie. Like she was still intimidating, but in this one, she was just full on menacing. Like she was fucking scary. Like she would do whatever the fuck she had to do. She does not give a shit who she has to sacrifice, as long as like she gets her ends to meet. Whatever. It was just she's cold blooded. She's fucking savage.
Cold-blooded, man. Yes, that is a term for sure. Um, but yeah, since we brought it up, yeah, we can talk about the beginning of the movie where they had the first squad, which yeah, I did not expect them to do two different squads, in separate locations at the same time. So that did kind of throw me for a loop. But yeah, and the first squad that Waller sends is, Rick Flag is with Javelin, Captain Boomerang, Savant, Mongal, Weasel, and I think that's it. Oh no, TDK, the detachable
Yeah.
team. Yeah, played
And
by
Harley.
Nathan Fillion and Harley. Yes. So yeah, they send them to this island, and Blackguard, of course, I forgot Blackguard.
Yeah, Blackguard. Oh yeah, so important.
Mm-hmm. I will say, like, the introduction to Savant, played by Michael Rooker, was really good when he's playing with his ball in the prison, and then there was a bird in the prison, and then he ricochets the ball in the different walls, and then it hits the bird and kills it. I'm like, okay, wow, this is the tone we're setting. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so they send this first squad to this island, and I guess they were trying to infiltrate it. They're sneaking onto the island, but then Blackguard like gives their location, and he sells the squad out, and there's a whole bunch of soldiers waiting for them, and he's all like, hey, I gave the location. You're not gonna kill me, right? We made a deal. And then pow, he shot him in the head, blows up, and then there's this whole firefight on the island. And so all the squad is trying to defend themselves. Oh my gosh, a whole bunch of insanity happens. So
fucking bloodbath.
Yeah, like
right at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And then like all of them died except for Harley and Flag. All of them died. Like Mongal. Okay, so I'll say this as a comic book person who knows the lore of Mongal. That's probably one of the people from the squad I wish wasn't there, because she's related to a really big Superman villain, Mongol. So it's like, I wish they could have saved her for, if they possibly would bring Mongol in a Superman movie, if they'll actually make a Superman movie, because we don't know what Henry Cavill's doing. What is he doing? Is he Superman still? What is he doing? But yeah, it just felt kind of cheap that, one of the biggest Superman villains, like his relative, gets captured by Amanda Waller and becomes a member of the Suicide Squad, and then just sent to die like that. Like she hangs onto a helicopter and then makes it crash, and then she blows up. And okay, all right, that's a nitpicky thing. So she dies, TDK dies in the most ridiculous way possible. So the detachable kid, he's able to detach his limbs, and then he freaking slaps the soldiers around.
Yeah, I mean he's a bullshit character, so I mean you know he's just gonna go right away. Although I really like Nathan Fillion, so I would have liked to have seen more of him. But yeah, I wasn't surprised. I knew he wasn't gonna last long.
Yeah, of course they shoot his arms down, and then he's like bleeding from the inside, and he dies and just lays there all bloody and stuff like that. Like, oh boy. And then Weasel, freaking Weasel, what is this thing? It's like this rat.
Weasel fucking drowns right when they get there.
Yeah, drowns. Like, so like nobody checked to see if the Weasel could swim. So that was hilarious. I see the way that Gunn is like killing off these people. It's like taking us off guard. Like, you don't expect them to get killed so easily and so quickly, so abruptly. But it's like, I think that was a good way to keep you on your toes, because you don't know what's going to happen. It raises the stakes a lot.
Yeah, because you don't know who's gonna go, and I think that also plays into the fact that he picked all of these low-level characters from DC that no one knows anything about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a lot of people haven't heard of them. He purposely put them in there because, hey, here are some cheap characters I can put in here and just fucking kill them off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I liked that he did that because it was a shocking beginning of the movie. But at the same time, it was disappointing because I would have liked to have seen more from some of them, particularly Savant, because I really like Michael Rooker from Guardians. And, you know, we had that cool scene with him at the beginning, like you said, but then he doesn't do anything and he just dies like a bitch.
Yeah, he gets scared because of all the fire, and then he tries to swim away. And then you know what happens when you run away from your mission. There's a chip that's inhibited in their necks, and if they retreat from the mission, or if they betray people, they get their heads exploded, and that's what happened to him. He gets his head blown up when he tries to swim away. So yeah,
totally wasted.
Especially because it's Michael Rooker, so it's like, you get big names like that, and Nathan Fillion. It's like, did they really need to be in this movie? But and then
because they're friends with James Gunn, so we put him in there.
True, which I get that. Oh, and Sean Gunn played Weasel. He motion captured Weasel, so it's like, you gotta do something with them. And Captain Boomerang dies as well.
No,
like, oh god, like that was the second death where I was like, oh man, no, he didn't need to kill him, man.
Oh my gosh, you bring one of the few characters back from the first movie, and then you kill him within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even get to do that much. He got like one cool kill, and that was great. Mm-hmm. And then he dies. Come on.
Dies, yes. And it's like,
wasted him.
Mm-hmm. And
I really liked Boomerang from the first movie.
Yeah, he was a highlight in the first film. It's like, yeah, I thought he would get, more screen time, but no, he's gone too. Like,
I mean, he was really good in this one too. It's just you barely got anything from him, because I like the scene with him and Harley going back and forth on the helicopter on their way there, or was it a plane? Whatever it was, So it's like, like you have to do that.
Yeah, and they had that he had that funny exchange with Blackguard and TDK about this, figuring out what Weasel is. Like, is he a dog? Dog? What kind of dog you think it is, mate? Oh, come on, man. I would have liked to see him and Flash interact again, because they had that one little scene in the first movie with Flash capturing him when he's robbing a bank, but that's it. So it's like, would have been cool to save him for a Flash movie or something like that, but oh well.
It's something else I think was a missed opportunity is, since Boomerang likes to fuck with people and get under people's skin, you know how hilarious it would have been if he would have gotten under Peacemaker's skin and just like baited him, because Peacemaker is so fucking serious about everything. Oh, that would have been comedic gold.
Yeah, would have been.
Totally missed out on that.
For sure, that would have been cool. or throwing shots at Polka Dot Man and stuff like that.
Yes.
Going on with them. But yeah, Harley puts up a little bit of a fight. She gets a rocket launcher out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then she ends up getting captured. And then Rick Flag, we think, is getting captured, but he ends up finding allies later. But yeah, they survive. But then while that's happening, there's another Suicide Squad that comes on another part of the island while the firefight's happening. So that first squad was the decoy. Amanda Waller literally sent them out to die while the other squad can get in safely. Wow.
Fucking savage.
Cold-blooded Amanda Waller. Jesus Christ.
Gosh, my jaw was dropped. And then the opening sequence or the opening titles rolled right after that. It's like, holy shit. She literally sent them to die. That was the plan. They weren't supposed to succeed.
Right.
They were just the bait so that the real Suicide Squad could get onto the beach.
Mm-hmm. So that was wow. That was great. That was horrible what happened to them, but I'm like, that's actually really clever what they did. So I really like that. I will say real quick, I like the music choice that they had in this movie. A lot of people will say, "Oh, this is Guardians again, using pop songs in this film," but it's like I thought it fit for this movie, and it had a different vibe than how it was in the Guardians films. Like it was different type of music than what they were using before, and it actually fit the scenes whenever he incorporated them. So I like the music that they used in this movie.
I thought the music was a lot better than in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first movie of it just didn't make any sense how they were replacing stuff. They had Eminem playing while they're suiting up, and then they had the Rick Ross playing while Joker's trying to intimidate somebody, and it's like it was just weird. And then I don't know. I mean, I really liked the soundtrack in the first movie, but it was really weirdly placed. It felt like a music video. But anyway, talk about the rest of the squad. We have Idris Elba playing Blackguard. I thought he was really, really good.
Bloodsport.
My bad. Bloodsport played by Idris Elba. So I thought he was really, really good. I could kind of tell you could kind of tell his role was originally supposed to be written for Will Smith, because he was supposed to come back for this movie, but scheduling conflicts, because I think he was still filming that Venus and Serena movie that's going to come out this year. So scheduling conflicts, which that kind of sucked, because I really liked him as Deadshot in the first movie. So I would have liked to see him come back, but at least the door's open, so whenever he would want to come back, he would be willing to. But I'm
glad they made Idris be just a new character instead of recasting Deadshot.
Mm-hmm. But Idris Elba did a good job to differentiate himself from Deadshot. He didn't feel like a complete carbon copy. I mean, yes, he's also an assassin like Deadshot, but he had different weapons, different arsenals, and his personality was much different from Will Smith's. Though they also incorporated the father-daughter stuff very similar to Deadshot in the first movie. Storm Reed is playing Bloodsport's daughter in this movie. I didn't expect for them to get her in this film, but yeah, it's another father-daughter thing, but once again the dynamic between the two is different, because Bloodsport's daughter actually hates him, and Bloodsport didn't even want to have a daughter, so he's trying to distance himself from her, so she doesn't end up being in the same position that he's in. So I thought that was really interesting. But then Amanda Waller coming in and just gets in family business and being like, you're going to lead the squad, and if you don't, I'm going to have your daughter sent to Belle Reve, and who knows what's going to happen to her after that. I'm just like, oh my god, bro. Why? Why did he do this, Amanda Waller? Oh my God.
What a low blow.
Such a low blow, man. It's like, Jesus.
She does
Oh.
not give a fuck whatever she has to do in order to make ends meet the way she wants them to.
Whatever it takes. So yeah, I thought Bloodsport was really good. I did like his weapons, like it was kind of like this nanotech thing, and like guns could appear out of the nanotech stuff. So I thought that was really, really cool. And also his helmet, his whole uniform thing was cool, especially his helmet because it looked like a xenomorph. So I was like, I really, really liked that. And I also like that they put in the Easter egg straight from the comics that he was the one to shoot Superman with the kryptonite bullet. I'm glad they put that in there. I thought that was cool. Would I like to see that in a Superman film? Yeah, possibly, if it serves the story. But I'm just glad they put that little Easter egg in there. And I'm sure some people would be complaining like, that can't happen because it's Superman. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, how did that happen between Man of Steel and BVS and Justice League? Blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of time has passed between those times. Like, you come on, guys.
It is still going on. The world is still happening in between the movie.
Yeah, so it's like he could have been dealing with other stuff. Like, it's not just, what happens in Man of Steel and BVS. But yeah, I thought that was cool. All right. John Cena as Peacemaker. So I am a John Cena fan. I watch wrestling. And I actually am starting to become a fan of him as an actor. I think he's coming along pretty okay. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as The Rock and Dave Bautista, but he's coming along. I do think he works better as a comedic actor, though. I do remember, like a long time ago, I think on the Shazam podcast, I did say that I was kind of interested to see if he would be casted as Shazam, and I still thought he would be an interesting choice as Shazam, but Zachary Levi got it, and it's fine. But yeah, I was kind of worried about how he would do his Peacemaker, because for one thing, when I saw him in this uniform, I was like, this is the cheesiest shit I've ever seen. How are you going to make this work? And then, even though I like the trailers, when it came to his dialogue, that was what got me worried, because you had the bag of dicks line. It's like, if this whole beach was covered in dicks, and if I had to eat the dicks for you to your freedom, I would do it. I'm like, oh God, why did you give
problemo.
No problemo. Like, why did you give him this dialogue? What is this? I was really worried. And then they were greenlighting a show for him on HBO Max before the movie was coming out. So I'm like, why? Just why? So I guess they had a lot of confidence with him for seeing what James Gunn was doing with him in this movie. But yeah, I actually liked him as Peacemaker. Go figure. He was entertaining. I would say this is probably one of his best roles so far, which I guess is not saying a lot. Because we saw him in F9, and he was all right. But I did feel like they were holding him back a lot and trying to make him really, really serious. But in this movie, he's actually, like I said, trying to be a little bit more loose, a little bit more charismatic. He's able to, put in those jokes. And in the context of the movie, the stuff like the bag of dicks and stuff like that, it worked better in the context of the film. So I thought that was good. And also, he was really good with the action sequences as well. So I thought he was pretty good. What did you think about Peacemaker?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I thought he was hilarious. I was worried too, because I thought the dialogue was going to be stupid and he was going to be like the black sheep that didn't really fit in with the rest of the squad. But no, he fit in perfectly. He was like, I think I'm also, I really like ironic characters like that, where, there's sort of like a contradiction, because he's all about peace, but then he's a very violent person doing, these horrible things in the name of peace.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I got to kill to get it. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh, that killed me. I was laughing so hard just because he's so serious. He is like he is so sure of himself that he is doing the right thing when he doesn't realize how ridiculous and idiotic he's being. It's just so funny.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I think it worked out really well with this character, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Peacemaker show.
Yeah,
because I do want to know more about him. We didn't really learn like how he became the person that he is now, and I'd be interested to see how he got these very strict, ideals. Very strict rules that he lives by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did make me more interested to see his show, and like this, like you, I do want to see how he became Peacemaker, how did he get to where he was. That's assuming if it is going to be a prequel show. We don't know if it's going to be a prequel or if it's going to take place after Suicide Squad. The spoilers, he does survive in this movie, but yeah, open to seeing what his show does.
I think I heard that it is going to be a continuation of the movie, but I'm hoping that they will go back to touch on events before as well.
Right. Yep. Okay, another character I was really worried about was King Shark. Okay, so King Shark I think was a really cool character. If you guys have been following my channel, you guys know I hate the Arrowverse. But one of the few things that I actually liked was King Shark. I thought he was done pretty well. That wasn't exactly how I would do it from the comics, but I thought, they handled him in the Arrowverse pretty well. I did not want to see King Shark be a dummy. Like pretty much a reincarnation of Groot from Guardians. And that's what it seemed like they were going to do. Like the whole, just like him just speaking a few words and be like, and bird. I'm like, what? Nom nom. Like, oh my God. And he has a dad bod too. I'm like, what in the world? So I thought I was going to be annoyed of him. I haven't watched for those of you wondering, I haven't watched the Harley Quinn show. I heard he was good in that too. But yeah, I'm just going off of the Flash TV show version of King Shark as far as portrayals I have seen of him. But I actually liked him in this movie too, bruh. Like, man, he was also a huge surprise. Yes, he still was acting dumb in the movie. And, he felt like a grown child, but it's like they save it whenever he kills somebody, it's a moment. Like whenever he kills people in this film, it is so bloody, it is so violent. Like it actually comes around for me, even though like they try to make him the lovable idiot in this movie. Like he actually was, he was kind of endearing, and I did like kind of the dynamic they were trying to give with him and Ratcatcher and the rest of the squad too. Whenever they have interactions, like I did find him endearing. But yeah, he was such a surprise. But yeah, what really got me was whenever he killed people. Like that was great. Like when they were infiltrating the camp, he just picks up a guy and just eats him, swallows him whole. And then there's I know I'm going way far into the movie, but like there was one shot you saw in the trailers when he takes a guy and rips him in half, and you see the blood and guts just fall out. Whoa! And then he ate this other guy, and he had the one guy in his mouth, and his eyes were moving. Okay, that was a little bit goofy, but I was still like, oh my God, this King Shark is dangerous, bruh. It's like, man, I loved it. And he was voiced by Sylvester Stallone as well. There were rumblings going around that he was in this movie, but we didn't know who he was going to be. But I kind of assumed that he was going to voice King Shark. And I thought Sylvester did a really good job voicing him as well. But yeah, what do you think about King Shark?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I love that they went for it with his kills. Like you would think with a lot of other movies, like, oh, we got to cut away. We can't show that. No, they show it.
They show all of it.
Thank you for just going for it. This movie just goes for it. And while it's absurd and crazy, a lot of it does land just because, James Gunn sets up his world. This is how it is. We're all in on this, and we're just gonna go for it. So you're in that mentality of we're reaching here, but it's fun, it's crazy, and it's shit that you want to see. So it really does end up just working. This movie just works.
Yeah, to that, on top of that, I did feel like the tone and just the amount of blood that they did use, which it was just the right amount. I didn't feel like it was too gratuitous. I didn't think they went too far, because that was one of the things I was slightly worried about, even though it did look good, because James Gunn, when he gets dark, it can get really unpleasant. And I was worried that it would cross that line in a couple of places, but for me, like I said, it was just the right amount. It fit these characters. You could question that for more lighthearted stuff, like when it comes to the superheroes and stuff like that. That could be stuff where you'd be like, okay, that's probably a little too much. But with the villains, shit can hit the fan wherever. It's like it feels like you can have more freedom, because these are super villains. They're not supposed to be like role models and stuff like that, so you're able to go as far as you want to. And also with the humor, because like in the first movie they were trying to shoehorn in humor that didn't work, but in this movie the humor landed for the most part. It felt like what they were trying to do with the first movie, James Gunn took all that and just perfected it. They wanted it to be funny, he made it funny. We wanted it to be violent, they made it violent. So it's like it was a good mixture. I thought the tone was just right, even with all these weird stuff in the film that you wouldn't think would mesh. He made it mesh somehow, and it was really good. Continuing on, Ratcatcher 2. The heart of this movie.
The heart and soul of this movie.
Yes. It's like, who would have thought Ratcatcher 2? Like, who gave a shit about Ratcatcher before this? But man, yes, she is the heart and soul of this movie. Like, she helps ground the squad. She brings the most emotion. She feels like she's one of the most relatable characters in the movie. I was just really surprised they were able to make me care about this character, because like I cared very little about Ratcatcher was a he in the comics. I didn't give a crap about Ratcatcher from the comics, but it's like, man, they really did something special with her. And she had her pet rat, Sebastian, which like that could have been really goofy as well. You have a pet rat that like understands what the humans are saying, and he's waving to people and whatever. I'm like, that could have came off so stupid, but man, I like Sebastian too, and I don't even like rats, but like they made me like Sebastian's. But yeah, Ratcatcher, man, I really liked her.
I liked her connection with King Shark. Like it's very simple, but in terms of like King Shark's simplistic worldview, it really fit. It's like, we know that you eat people, but we are your friends, so don't eat us. And and he says, I'm not going to eat you. And that really like came across, even though it was very simple. I was like, he's not just a dummy, who just is mindless. He actually can think and actually can choose who he kills and who he doesn't kill.
And they actually showed that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ratcatcher's, she's responsible for getting him there. Yes.
And it did show that King Shark does have feelings. He does have emotions. It's like, because he as they established, he didn't have any friends before this point. So I'm glad that Ratcatcher was able to establish a friendship with him. So that was actually kind of endearing. Didn't expect that. Speaking of people that ended up being really endearing. Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man, bruh.
Yeah, Polka Dot Man, the stupidest, craziest character. And they ended up giving him a backstory that you actually cared about.
Yeah, it's like he ended up being like this experiment with her mother. He ended up, getting abused by her, and she turned him into this weird amalgamation where he can shoot polka dots at people, and if he and like he has this weird condition with his body where it's like if he doesn't release the polka dots, then he like his face gets swollen and glows different colors, and then I guess he will end up exploding or combusting.
Yeah, because that shit just builds up inside him, and he just has to let it out, otherwise it will kill him. And I like that they established that he was being experimented on at Star Labs, and they really, put that in this movie universe.
Yeah, I'm glad that like they changed the lore of him, because like this is not how he is in the comics, but like they changed the lore and made him more interesting. It's not just, oh, he created this weapon that shoots ridiculous polka dots. Like this is actually like a laboratory experiment. This is weird conditions, so it just made it more interesting. And then like his whole like, he's screw loose in the head, and like all he can think about is his mother and how he was abused or whatever. He sees everyone as his mother whenever he gets angry and whatever, and he uses that whenever he kills people.
All right, yeah, this is like the one thing where I felt like, all right, this was kind of unnecessary. I understand he has PTSD and he's like fucking scared of his mom and he hates his mom, but when they kept doing like his mom's face on other people, that's where it's like, okay, now you're just getting to be a bit too ridiculous and weird.
Yeah, like I didn't feel like they need to do it. Like they did it so many times, and it just felt uncomfortable. And maybe that was his intention, to make you feel uncomfortable. But I felt like he probably could have just done it 1 or 2 times, and that's it.
Yeah, he kept doing it. Like that wasn't really a thing that needed to go on as many times as it did.
Yeah.
Although I did think it was funny at the end, like, Polka Dot, it's your mom.
It's your mother. Jesus, a giant kaiju mother. Like, oh,
that was the one where I was like, okay, that one worked, but
that caught me off guard. I'm like, he's not about to project her being a giant monster. Yep, okay, wow.
That was just bonkers, but it was so funny.
That was insane. Another funny moment when they're infiltrating the camp and killing everybody. And then he finds out that Rick Flag actually wasn't being captured by them. He was actually, allies with this lady called Sol Soria, played by Alice Braga. Okay, right.
But yeah, when they were infiltrating the camp, that was crazy, because it's like they're just doing all of these horrible kills. Like, and, we as the audience think, oh my gosh, they're killing all these bad guys. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then they get there, it's like, oh, we fucked up. Shit.
it's like, what happened to all my men? Why didn't they warn me that you were here? And it was like, oh, I didn't see any men. And then Polka Dot Man's like, I pretended that they were all my mother and I killed them. Oh my God. What is this movie? This is insane. I love it. But yeah, that whole competition that Peacemaker and Bloodsport was having, killing all the people in that camp, I thought that was great. That was badass. I like that. But yeah, it makes you feel bad for laughing though. So that's that. I don't know. It's like I like that, but at the same time, I was like, oh man, this is so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, I did feel bad on the second viewing, since I knew that time that they weren't enemies, they were friendlies, and it's like they're killing all these people. It's like, no.
Like, oh no. Okay, so Harley, let's talk about Harley. Yeah, so one of the few breakout characters from the DCEU, Margot Robbie is Harley, man. Like, I think she immortalized herself with the Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Hugh Jackmans and the Ryan Reynolds of the comic book world. Like,
Yeah.
she is Harley Quinn, man. Um, in this movie, I thought she was really, really good. Um,
This
I
was her
think
best performance, I
I was
think.
about to say, I think I'm ready to say this is my favorite performance from her. I felt like in I feel like in the original Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, I mean, even though I really liked her, I felt like the writing for her was just kind of weird in those movies, and they weren't able to fully they weren't really able to show fully how Harley is as a character. Um, or the dialogue for her would have been, or dialogue was kind of weird for her too as well in the previous movies. But in this one, I felt like it was spot on. Like, I actually wasn't annoyed by her. I actually thought her dialogue was pretty good. When it came to her action sequence, breaking out of the prison from the terrorists, man, people want to talk about the warehouse fight with Batman in Batman v Superman. Man, this is coming close, man. Like, bruh. And it's like, I like the fight sequences in Birds of Prey, but this topples all those fight scenes in Birds of Prey. Like, man, I was really impressed by it. Especially there was I've been told when she's being hung up on the wall and the two terrorists were interrogating her, she did this move where she broke someone's neck with her legs, and then she had to use her legs to take the key and unlock her arms being hung up. She did that stunt herself, and I was really impressed by that. Really, really cool. And I also like her outfit, the red and black. Finally, you're putting her back in the red and black outfit, homaging the animated series and the comics. So, like, yes, an actual uniform where she's not in, her ass is not sticking out or whatever, and just carrying a baseball bat for all the guys to just drool all over her. Controversial opinion.
Hey,
I don't really like most of her outfits outside the Jester costume and when she's actually covered up, because it's like, it's not practical. It's just there for sex appeal and nothing more. Like, come on, bruh. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I liked her booty shorts.
See, and you
But
just
no, she looked. But no, she looked good in the movie too, especially when she was wearing that dress.
Yes, I liked the dress she was wearing. She was really nice. Really nice. Okay, so here's one part of the movie that I know we disagree on. I did not. The one thing, one of the two things. Yeah, I think one of the two things where I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I did not like the subplot with her, dating the El Presidente general thing, like that. That whole scene I thought was unnecessary, like, just unnecessary. I don't know why that was in there. Does it really progress the story that much? I mean, yeah, because she ends up killing him, so that I guess that progressed the story somewhat. But like, just to really stop the movie and be like, oh, El Presidente has a crush on her and he wants to marry her, and I'm just like, what? Then they have sex. I'm like, twice, and I'm like, why? Like, what? Actually, I think it was just one time, because whatever. But yeah, it's just, why? Why was this here? And that's where I felt like the pacing. You kind of could feel the pacing by the time we got to that. Like around the time when Ratcatcher was explaining her backstory with her father, who was played by Taika Waititi, by the way. I did not expect Taika Waititi to be in this movie, but I thought that was cool. The original Ratcatcher. So around by the time we got to that point and Harley dealing with this president nonsense, I'm just like, okay, I'm starting to feel the length of the movie a little bit. Like, I feel like if they cut out that subplot completely and just cut to her being hung up and being tased, I don't feel the movie would have changed that much. but that's just me. How do you feel about it?
Okay, so I do really like that subplot. I think it was weird that he already knew who she was, just like hearing about her from America. It seemed a little unrealistic to me because I didn't think she was making a big enough splash to like other people to know her around the world from like publicity.
Yeah.
But
Even though we know it's
so
the
that
Joker and Harley, but it's like, would that really be something that other countries would know about?
yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was convenient that he was able to, that the reason she was captured instead of killed is because he actually, is like infatuated with her. But then when we get to the whole thing of him trying to like woo her, and then she's sort of like buying into it, and because she thinks he's hot, and then they like have sex, and it's like, okay, wow, you're actually going there with Harley. This is something we haven't seen, a side of Harley that we haven't really seen yet, because we haven't really seen a lot of Harley and Joker in a relationship. So while I agree that that subplot doesn't really advance the story besides her killing him, and and he was the one taking over the government, so that has to do with the overall plot with Starro. But I think that's a good character moment for Harley, because I found it quite shocking and memorable that she can just flip on a dime from liking him and having sex with him to saying, oh no, just kidding, you're fucked up, and then killing him.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was a very strong character moment of kind of being inside of Harley's psyche and really seeing how her mind works and how she can just flip on a dime because she's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's not a completely crazy woman, because she does have her own, standards and her own moral code. It's like, when she says that, she knows that she's not a good person, but anyone who will just kill children, that's a big fucking red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I really liked just the character development that they had for Harley with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got out of it.
Oh yeah, I got you. It's funny how she didn't react when Weasel killed 27 children, but the whole thing about killing children. But anyway, so since Harley's been going through this whole development of like, men treated her wrong, especially the Joker, and then Black Mask, and now this, like the natural progression after this. Can we get Poison Ivy and Harley together, please? Can that the next time we see Harley, Poison Ivy got to be with her. She has to be, like, because I'm tired of seeing this.
Oh,
sorry, what did she say?
Cree said she better be with her. She wants it.
Yes, yeah, I think we all want it at this point. Like Harley and Poison Ivy, put them together, please. Okay, so let's talk real quick about Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. I thought he was pretty good. Doctor Who alumni. It was good to see him. Don't give him a whole lot to do. I mean, he is important when it comes to Starro, which we'll get him in a second. But I thought it was pretty cool, I guess. I liked his design with all the prosthetics on his head and stuff like that, because in the comics it was just a helmet, but I like that they they did it different and just had it sticking out of his head, so that was kind of cool. And so the whole point of this mission is to stop this alien being from another galaxy that the government captured and were doing experiments on, and the Thinker was helping with those experiments as well. That's where we get to Starro. Oh wow, I did not expect James Gunn to do Starro in a DC movie, let alone a Suicide Squad film. Like, wow, I did not expect for him to just be like, yeah, we're going to do Starro. We're going to do it. Yes, he was the first villain that the Justice League fought in the comics. So I guess it was very poetic, but it's like Starro is just such an out there character. Like, I didn't really know how he would be utilized in the film. Would people take it seriously, or was he going to go the whole silly route with Starro and just make him a parody or whatever because of how silly the concept is? I personally like Starro. If you guys watch the animated series with the DC animated stuff like Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, Justice League Unlimited and stuff like that, Starro would make appearances in those shows, and he was taken seriously for the most part in those. So it's like if they were in the same vein as that, I would be okay with it. But man, they went far and beyond in this film. Starro is actually kind of scary in this movie, and I did not expect to say that. Starro is one creepy, nasty motherfucker, bruh. Like, bruh, his design.
Yeah.
I love his design, man. I like the colors that they use, the texture, even like his eye. Like, they make his eye move and stuff like that. That was just, that was.
Yeah, it was creepy. It was unsettling, and to see the what are the little stars called? Do they have a name?
No, they're just little Starros. I think there's actually a name for them. But
yeah, so yeah, though when they like go on the people, it reminds me of Alien, just how unsettling it is.
Yes.
Oh, you're like fucking these people up.
Yes. And then one thing that they changed from the comics is that, and in the animated series, is that they're able to take Starro off whenever he attaches to people. Like, you are able to, detach him and they'll be okay. But in this movie, no. Once Starro attaches to you, he's stuck on there. Or if you try to pull him off, they die. So it's like, whoa. So that raises the stakes even more for Starro, which I thought that was crazy. And then the giant Starro, when he's a freaking kaiju monster, that was done really, really well. And how he was able to communicate, through the humans, and how all of them were talking at the same time or whatever. Like, that's also was really creepy. So, man, Starro was great. I did not expect to say that. James Gunn, you did well with Starro, and I probably should have expected James Gunn to do really good, because he does really good with really weird characters like this. So I thought that was done really well. But on top of that, there's more to this scheme as well. So it's not to just, stop Starro. It's to cover up the government's mess. That's pretty much why they were sent, because Amanda Waller is sending them to wipe any evidence of the affiliation that the U.S. have with conducting experiments on Starro. And Colonel Rick Flag is not happy about it at all when he finds out, and when the Thinker tells them that was their plan all along. He gets pissed off, and so he attempts to take the information and show it to the government and the authorities or whatever. But then, Peacemaker makes a heel turn and is like, I'm actually a secret agent working for Amanda Waller this whole time, and I'm not going to let you leak this information, sir. That needs to be destroyed. And then that's when Peacemaker turns on everyone. And oh boy, I did not expect that. I'll say that, even though I'm used to seeing heel turns in wrestling, so there's something I should have expected they would do for John Cena. But like, I thought that was a really good twist there. The whole like, underhanded tactics that Waller's doing to cover up the government's messes, I thought that added another layer to the story. So I thought that was really good. What do you think about the whole twisted reveal and Starro and everything like that?
So first off, when we were talking about Thinker, I think he's a fucking asshole, and a really despicable character who's like, oh yeah, I'm doing a whole bunch of horrible shit, but in the name of science, so it's okay. Fuck you.
In the name of science.
So when they were showing those experiments, when they went down there to his lab, that was really fucking disturbing. That was like the most disturbing part of the movie for me. Was just seeing people like in pain, just like being tortured.
Yeah.
It was fucked up. And there's another, I like the twist with Taskmaster, because it makes these characters more interesting, that they have different like ideal sets, you know, different motivations, different
you mean
different...
Peacemaker, not Taskmaster. That's Marvel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Peacemaker. You know, the fact that Rick Flag is saying, no, this is fucking wrong, to just do this, you know, secret shady shit and then just try and cover it up. But Peacemaker's like, nope, that's what we were told to do, you know, and if everyone finds out, you know, through this leak, it's just going to make the world go crazy, and, you know, it's going to start wars, and we have to keep peace. So I like the two different ideals clashing, because you can see, you know, both of their sides as to why they think the way that they do. You know, it's like, so it makes it more interesting. It's not so just black and white. It's just different viewpoints. And that's just another fucked up thing about Amanda Waller. She doesn't even care about stopping Starro. She just wants them to cover her ass.
Yeah.
She just cares about getting rid of the evidence. She couldn't care less if Starro goes out and destroys the fucking world. As long as the United States are not responsible for it, mission accomplished.
Yep. I'm like, oh, wow.
Fucking
bitch, man. But yeah, bro. And it surprisingly gave a layer to Starro, because, you know, he wasn't bothering anybody in space. Like, he wasn't trying to, you know, take over worlds or whatever. He was just wandering in the stars. But then the government, you know, captures him and does whatever they want with him. Like, there was that line before he died. He's like, I was more peaceful wandering in the stars and stuff like that. I was like, oh, damn. You make me feel for this starfish creature alien. Oh, man. Did he need to die like that? But yeah, I liked that the squad was just like, fuck it, we're going to stop him because like no one else will. Like that was like a fuck yeah moment. And then, you know, Waller is like yelling at them, being like, you better go back, you motherfuckers, you better not go there. And then one of the ladies that's back at the headquarters with her hits her with a golf club and knocks her out. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna help the squad stop Starro. Like, oh, okay. That was one of the other things where I was like, okay, I know it needed to happen. She needs to get knocked out, because like she was like not acting straight. But it's like, would she be put in the position to get hit? Like, I don't know. That just felt really abrupt. Like her just getting knocked out like that. I don't know. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was great. I was like, about damn time.
Yeah. I guess because like I'm so used to seeing like Amanda like in the comics and in the animated shows, like she has such, you know, security behind her. So it's like it just feels weird that she would be put out of commission that easily. But, you know, in the concept of the story, it needed to happen. They did.
They got lucky. They caught her off guard.
Yeah.
And I like that, you know, even though these are villains on the squad, they're not completely terrible people, because they recognize that even though our boss is telling us we completed the mission, really, you know, in our hearts we haven't, because we can't just, you know, morally, we can't just let this shit go on. You have to stop it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is like another layer to the characters of they're not just going to do the bare minimum. They have beliefs that that they have to follow.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, we also should mention Peacemaker kills Rick Flag.
Oh, that was the other heartbreaking moment of this movie. I did not want Flag to die.
Me neither. Like he's he's the squad, man. Like he's the leader. Like
he's the leader.
Yeah, like I thought he would be the one to he's always the one that rounds the gang and whatever. Like I thought he would be like a stay, but it's like no, like anyone can die. As James Gunn established before the movie came out, don't get too attached. I'm like, I mean, I get it, but it's like you have your favorites. I'm sure Gunn is aware of the characters that people liked in the original movie, so I would think they would keep them around. Flag and Boomerang. Like honestly, I thought Boomerang was gonna still be alive, and Flag and Bloodsport, Harley, obviously, King Shark, Ratcatcher 2. I think those were the only ones that I thought were going to stay alive, because I think those are like the favorites. Everyone else, I kind of expected everyone else to die, but man, even subverting your expectations for people that you think are going to survive, they don't. But yeah, Rick Flag, I was disappointed. I really wanted him to stay alive, especially because I actually like him in this movie now, and it's like there could have been more possibilities with him in the future. But then again, would he still be working for the squad after what he found out about the government? I don't think so.
Probably not. He would probably leave.
Yeah.
And at least he went out, trying to, get that drive into the hands of people that can release it so that that information can be known. So he didn't die in vain because Bloodsport was able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. The whole sequence with them stopping Starro was really cool. Like when they were in that building and it was like toppling and stuff like that, I was actually on the edge of my seat with that, because I didn't know how they were going to get out of it. And as they established up to that point, anyone could die. So like I said, the stakes were higher. And so I was actually fearing for their lives in that when the building was toppling and stuff like that. But then Starro invading the town and stuff like that, I like how they're all working together. Bloodsport's giving them commands, telling King Shark, "That's Nom Nom, Nom Nom." eats Starro's arm, and then telling Polka Dot Man, "That's your mom." He sees a giant mom, and then shoots his polka dots at his leg. And then, okay, this caught me off guard. Polka Dot Man, when he shoots Starro, he's like, "I'm a superhero!" And then out of nowhere, Starro stomps on him and kills him.
I saw it coming too, just how the shot was, like, you could see like how the shot was framed that was going to happen. Yeah. I still didn't want it to happen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they did him dirty.
Oh, even though I was expecting him to die, I actually didn't want Polka Dot Man to die. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Polka Dot lasted a lot longer than I thought he was going to, but then they just did him dirty in the end.
Yeah, man. Like, oh man.
Yeah, Cree says that was bullshit.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, Cree was invested in that bitch.
I didn't expect Cree to even care about Polka Dot Man, but yeah, bro. I'm with you, man. But yeah, so they're so while that's happening, Ratcatcher summons a whole army of rats to crawl all over Starro, and then while that's happening, you see the flashback with the original Ratcatcher played by Taika. That was a nice little touch there. And then Harley takes the javelin that Javelin had, the staff. She runs on the building and then she jumps into Starro's eye and stabs his eye with the javelin. And then that's when the rats came in, swam and ate like Starro's veins and limbs and stuff like that.
That was so fucked up, but so satisfying at the same time. Like, oh yeah, they're eating him. Fucking get him. But at the same time, it's disgusting.
Yes. It's like the blood is like flowing in his eyes.
Yeah, Cree, come over here.
Shit. Fuck this shit, okay? They did Starro dirty.
They sure did. They sure did make Starro.
Telling me that Starro, the goddamn fucking destroyer.
Conqueror.
Whatever. No, it's supposed to be destroyer.
It's the Conqueror.
Conqueror? Whatever.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was destroying things.
He was.
In time.
He didn't conquer shit.
He conquered all those
You didn't
people.
let him conquer shit.
No.
He tried to.
No, he got eaten by fucking rats. You're telling me Starro the fucking Conqueror got eaten by rats? That's how he dies?
Well,
The fuck?
it was millions of rats.
And you're telling me there's that many rats on that fucking island? That's disgusting.
Yeah, that does seem kind of weird and convenient and disgusting if you really think about it. Because like, Starro is supposed to be kind of somewhat indestructible, but he can get stabbed by a javelin and then eaten in the inside by rats.
I wasn't mad about the javelin. I was mad about the rats. That's how they're gonna take him down.
Yeah. I mean, even though I think this is a lot more, it's logically makes a lot more sense than Enchantress, but they still are putting the squad against supernatural threats that they're not supposed to be going against.
Don't even get me started on Enchantress right now.
What? You didn't like Enchantress?
I did not like Enchantress.
You didn't like her dancing? Ow.
Yeah, her weird hula Egyptian dancing for no fucking reason.
I'm not even supposed to be Egyptian.
Yeah.
Looked Egyptian. They did her dirty too.
They sure did. Like, oh my gosh.
And I was invested in Polka Dot Man, okay? I thought he was gonna die in the first 20 minutes of the fucking film.
Like, no.
When he made it halfway, I was like, yeah! Look at your cute little polka dots, let's go!
Yeah.
And then that's how they kill him. That seems to be the theme. That's how they kill him. Oh.
Yeah.
The rats thing, I think that worked.
But yeah, I did think this worked a lot better of a climax than the original, but I'm still like, stop putting the Suicide Squad against big threats like that. You need to stop. Put them against street level threats, please.
Yeah, that's super weird because wouldn't the Justice League be aware of Starro? I mean, it's a giant ass starfish just fucking up an island.
Yeah, maybe they were busy with other things.
What?
They were
sitting on their asses playing Candy Crush because they have nothing to do.
Well, the Suicide Squad was able to resolve the conflict before the Justice League even had a chance to get over there.
That doesn't make any sense. And if you picked up a goddamn comic book, you would know what you were talking about. But you don't. So let the adults talk.
All right, fine. It was the Justice League's day off. Do you like that better?
No, they don't take a day off.
Or it was happening the same time as Steppenwolf invading the Earth.
But we know that's not true.
We know that's not true.
Yeah, this is after the events of Justice League.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it don't make sense. No, it doesn't.
Don't make no sense.
That's the thing with
you're not gonna
DC.
sing that with me.
Mm-mm. Well, dripping in finesse. This I don't know if you. I don't know if that works, but I mean that's the thing with DC and Marvel with their universe. If they're going to do standalone movies with all these other characters in there, like they have to, it's going to be weird addressing why weren't they in the movie? What were they doing while this was going on? Like, yeah.
I just think Marvel is so good at getting their shit together. They have their shit together. They're so good at making these stories make sense. But whenever I watch a DC movie, except for the Snyder Cut, because I love the Snyder Cut, none of them make sense.
It's because they're not thinking about the big picture. They're just focusing on each film as a one-off movie.
And that's what I'm trying to say about Marvel, but I'm pregnant again, just FYI, so my brain doesn't work. That's why I wasn't going to be in this podcast, but I wanted to rant about Starro for a second.
Yeah. And like, since they are doing one-off movies like this, like it would be kind of confusing for casuals because this movie is called The Suicide Squad. It's not Suicide Squad 2. It's not called something else. So people will be like, wait, there was already a Suicide Squad a few years ago. Wait, is this a reboot? What is this? what is this?
Yeah, they should have just called it Suicide Squad 2. Like, I get it, James Gunn wanted to do his own thing, but you can still call it Suicide Squad 2 because we all know it's the second movie.
Yeah, like it doesn't retcon anything from the first film.
Oh.
So
that is kind of a confusing title. I wish they wouldn't have done that.
Right. Or if he wanted to be different, he could just call it like Task Force X or something. I don't know.
Suicide Squad, and then just have a subtitle.
The Rise of Starro.
Yeah, something like that.
And the fantabulous emancipation of Task Force X.
Oh, dumbass title.
I can't believe they actually okayed that long Birds of Prey title.
That made no sense. And that confused people too, because like, oh wait, I thought this was a Harley Quinn movie. What? It is, but it's called Birds of Prey.
It's not a Birds of Prey movie.
It's not. Okay.
I do hope they make another Birds of Prey, so I want some more Huntress.
I want some more Black Canary, but that's just me. With Green Arrow as well. With Green Arrow and Canary. Even though they are doing a Black Canary movie on HBO Max, I think. Yeah. Green Arrow better be in it. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, I guess all there is to talk about is the credit scene. So the mid-credit scene is Weasel is alive. He came up on shore and he revived himself, so he didn't drown. So Weasel's still out there. Okay, cool. And then the end credit scene is Peacemaker's still alive because Bloodsport shot him in the neck. So we thought he was dead, but somehow he survived that. So
but then part of the building dropped on him too.
Yeah,
he should be fucking dead. It's bullshit that he's still alive.
It is bullshit. He's in a full body cast.
Right. And then like even if he survived the building toppling on him, he got shot in the neck. He should be gone.
He should have bled out. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess that's reassuring where his Peacemaker show could possibly go. So that's fine. Also, another thing, James Gunn revealed recently on social media that TDK is still alive.
What?
Yeah. That made
that fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really see him die though, honestly, because when they shot his arms, he fell over, and we're just assuming that he's dead. But again, how would he have survived?
Yeah, because he was bleeding to death. So I don't.
And those soldiers probably went through all of the bodies and shot them to make sure they were dead.
But they didn't do that to Weasel.
Because Weasel was in the water.
Yeah, he came up on the shore.
Yeah, Weasel was in the water.
Oh, I thought he was just like right on the sand.
No, when you see during the mid-credit scene, washes up on the shore.
Oh,
I mean,
if Weasel's gonna be in the Peacemaker show.
watch that happen.
I mean, why else would you have that scene in there? Where's he gonna show up?
Suicide Squad 3? Yeah, I don't know. Sean Gunn also played Calendar Man in this movie, so I thought that was cool, I guess. Played 2 characters. Yeah, 5 seconds. And that was it.
That's savage.
That is savage. So yeah, I think we covered everything. So yeah, overall, really, really good DC film. I guess you could say it surpassed my expectations. I was expecting this to be good, but I ended up really, really, really enjoying it. I thought all the characters were really good. I thought the blood and guts and stuff like that was really great. The dialogue was funny. It was beautifully shot as well. I gotta say, like the way James Gunn shot this film, it was really, really gorgeous film. Yeah, this is the Suicide Squad I wanted from the beginning. And even though I do want to see the Ayer cut one day, part of me wishes that never came out and this is what we gotten. And I feel like there wouldn't be as much of a controversy with this property. I think we'd be in a much better place if this is what we got from the beginning. But I don't know how they were going to do this because James Gunn was still at Marvel when the time Ayer's movie came out. But I just wish this was the first one that came out. But yeah, just really good DC movie. It's probably one of my favorites in the DCEU right now. But yeah, so I will say that the Suicide Squad is greatness. Evan.
I will also say that the Suicide Squad is greatness.
Why?
Because it was very enjoyable. It was funny. It was dark and twisted. It went all out with the violence. Great characters, great story. Great DC film.
Cool.
What are you going to rate, Cree?
Do I get a rating? I wasn't on the whole podcast.
Well, yeah, you can give it a rating.
Yeah, you can give it a rating if you want.
Well, I watched it 3 times. So I think it was, I don't know. There were parts of it that were just fine or just okay. And then there were parts of it where I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. So I don't know. I think it's like right in the middle. I think it's just pretty good.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, because there were parts where I was just like groaning, like, oh my God. Okay, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Starro broke out of the building, I was like, yeah, let's go.
But yeah, that is our thoughts on the Suicide Squad. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment below and let us know. All right. So we're caught up with DC films. So I think the next DC property coming out, I think, is The Batman with Matt Reeves. So I know Evan doesn't want to watch it, so it's fine. So I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Okay, Kree's gonna watch it with me. Yeah. So I guess we will do a review of it when it comes out. And then.
Yeah, I'm boycotting the Batman because I don't like that Warner Brothers is doing this side alternate universe bullshit. Just give us more Ben Affleck Batman in the DCEU. Why are you doing this other shit?
I will admit it doesn't make sense. I do want more Ben Affleck Batman, but I'm open to seeing what this movie does because I'm a fan of Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson is coming around for me. So we'll see where it goes. And so the next DCEU movie, I think it's either Black Adam or The Flash. So we'll cover
Black Adam.
Black Adam. Okay, so we'll cover that when it comes out. And then I think I'm gonna finally do a ranking of the DC films so far. So I finally do a ranking of that. So tune in for that as well. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos we'll be doing. But that's all we have for you DC fans, and we will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.
See you next
Bye-bye.
time.